What's up, guys? Welcome to Bro Beats. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to get rid of melody beat block. If you guys haven't subbed already or turned posts and homage, do so. Those up to the light. Let's hop right into it. Sounds and BPM stuff, it doesn't matter today. We're focused on the melody, but we will be needing to make the chord progression and stuff first, right? So let's grab in a scale and we can just run with a well, actually, you know what? Let's do like a let's do a major. Just because we always do minor, let's do major today, just because it doesn't really matter necessarily because we're not making a beat. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so let's go ahead and start the chords. Now this will be the most difficult part. If you mess this up, the melody may sound bad. Okay, now if you struggle with the chords, I have videos over chords already, and other people do as well on YouTube, or you can go on Google and look up free chord packs and stuff. Right, so the only way to really learn different chords is to have experience with different chords. So don't let your pride stop you from progressing, and don't be one of those people that's like, oh, I'm not going to use a chord pack or a MIDI pack. You can still learn from those things if you don't want to actually like use the melody or whatever, right? So let's go ahead and start this, and I'm gonna still show you how to do it. So we are in a major, and basically you can make a chord. Well, we want to make the bass line first, so like this could be like a bass line, right? Just for an example. So we need to get our own bass line. So basically what you can do is make a chord upward, right, or downward. So we can go 1 down, 2, right, and then you can kind of mess around. If you want to pull that up, you can. And then you just, once you have your notes, and usually it's about 4 or 3, you just want to move them over. So you can just move them over like this. All right, so now we have a bass line. The next step is to create a rhythm, right, for it. So we can do some kind of, let's not do the basic, let's do something like this. And let's see if this works. All right, so we can use that as the bass line, okay? So after this, right, let's copy this whole thing, and we're gonna transpose, well, not transpose, but pull it down an octave, okay? And then from these top notes now, we can build the chord from it. All right, now this part can get a little crazy once I add everything, but basically what I'm gonna do is take the not the third note, but the second note within the original chord, or the triad. So this would be a major. So this is the original. You take this middle note and then you can pull it up an octave, right? And then you kind of open the chord, which will help it sound a lot better. And we can do it over here and over here. And then over here, right? And it's that simple. The only hard part, if you notice, is actually creating the bass line and figuring out what combos work, right? But other than, let's see. Okay, so now we have this. Now let's move on to our bass line. I'll just copy this up here. All right, so now we just got to throw in the bass line. So I'm just taking these notes. Just put them on one of these, and then now we just play around with some notes and like how these kind of work together. I might fast forward a little bit just because I mean the bass line's done. Now it's about pulling some notes up, stuff like that. All right, so I sped that up a bit. So this will be the bass line, and I'm gonna actually copy this here, double it up. Okay, so now we got the bass done. So now we can kind of go over the melodies, and this is where I'll be showing you the technique for like the melody beat block thing. All right. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the melody, and I'm gonna be showing you a little trick here. So this is super simple and obvious once I show you it, right? And it's one of those things like, wow, I should have known that, right? So what you want to do, and this is why the chords are very important, is you want to go to your chords that you built, okay? And you want to take the lead note of every single chord in order, okay? So the lead note will be like the strongest note in the chord. So typically that will be the very top note of every chord. And what you want to do is copy those notes. So we're going to copy them, paste them here. And I guess we could play it. I don't want it to be too annoying because it's a lead, but we could play it. And with this, you will never make a bad melody again. Will it be the best melody ever made in human history? No, it won't. But no one can ever call your melodies trash ever, because you're literally, this is like the best notes that work, right? Besides like your preference, right? So I'll play it. Okay, so to finish this off, because you know, with music, they have this thing called resolve notes. It's kind of like to kind of wrap up the melody, right? To get that note, what you want to do, let's go back to your chords, and on the last chord, right before your loop repeats, the last chord that you have, you want to take that root note of that chord. So don't take the top note, but you want to take the root note, which is the beginning note. So it's our G, and you want to use that as the ending note. So find our G. We could just kind of do something like this. And I'm gonna shorten these up because it's kind of annoying having it play like that long. All right, and here we go. Okay, so that is pretty much how to do it. So now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna make a melody out of these notes, and then we're gonna just make a few more melodies real quick, just for like troubleshooting and everything like that. All right, so now we're just gonna make a bunch of melodies, and the reason I'm doing this is to just show different ways to turn this, like this basic thing, into your own melody. Because obviously, if everyone uses this, right, and they just only change like one note or two, everyone will have the same stuff. So with this, we can use kind of the same note, and then we can kind of create like a little, let's see. And then we can make a chord from this note down. Let's pull it up. I guess I could make these a little longer. And this is like bare bones. And over here, now when you're making a melody, and this is more of a beginner tip, really, if you're experienced, you don't even have to like this, throw this out the window. But if you're a beginner, keeping these like high points, I guess, in the melody in the same spot when you like move over will help keep the rhythm the same, because if you keep changing things up, sometimes it could break the flow, right, and make it unwrappable. So let's pull this down. We could just add in like an extra little note. And the reason I'm adding this note is because if we're gonna start here, we don't want this same note playing the whole time. Then let's move this G, our ending note, over. And then I'm gonna keep this in harmony. All right, sounds pretty good. So that is kind of how to turn that into something, just an idea. So let's move on to the next one. All right, so we're on to the second melody. So let's go ahead and get started, and we're just gonna build off of everything we learned previously. So with this, we don't have to necessarily be so robotic. Like if you want to start like down here and add stuff in, you can, but you want to keep in mind, you might throw in that lead note, right, a few times. And I'm gonna go back to the chords so y'all can remember these notes. All right, so if you remember these notes, you can kind of toss these in, you know, a little before or a little after, right? So let's just make one. Let's just start this over. Do something like this. Let's reuse this note. And I am in 1/4, okay? And then from here, we can make a chord downward. And let's throw this back over so it kind of comes full circle. And I want to shorten these up. do a flam from this. Right, and if you see this F and this G, right, just remember those notes. Or not the G, but the D. You see it's kind of all coming together. So let's keep it going. Let's see. We can do something cool. Let's do something, because we want to come down here, right? So let's offset this. And let's do something cool right here. Let's take this. You can see I'm just pulling from what we already have. And the reason I do that is because it's just easier, especially when making a video. It's easier to just pick from these notes rather than try to like think of like a bunch of random stuff. So here's a melody. So that's the second melody. So let's move on to the third. All right, so let's go ahead and do the third one. So we can just start on our G because we know that's the lead. And we just kind of play around with some of these notes. And you know, you can kind of use this note. Right, so with this, if you're not sure where to go, like after here, you can always use the first note you started with or the lead note. Okay, and then over here, I'm just trying to make some quick. All right, and then we come back to the G. We can even change up the rhythm here a bit. And this is a little bit more on the grid. I kind of like the other one, but I'm just keep it just to save time. So there's another one, and let's do the last one right here. All right, so now we're on to the fourth one. Now I'm gonna just try to make an actual melody out of this, and we'll add variation. I'm gonna try to keep it real time as long as it's not too long. So let's just go ahead and get started. So keeping everything we learned previously in mind, we can kind of quickly build out a little melody here. Then throw this over here. And then we can double this over like this. Okay, and then let's copy this. Well, should I copy it? Let's copy this over and then we can make some variation. So I'm gonna zoom in here. We just change up a bunch of notes. I'm gonna just listen to it and kind of figure out what I want to do. Okay, we getting somewhere. So let's go up higher. Try this out. Let's bring that F in. Okay, I like that. And then we can just kind of trickle it down. And kind of use this grid to help us. And then let's switch it up at the end and come back to this A. Yeah, I like that. I like that. All right, so that is the melody. I'll play it one more time through. So that is our full melody, and that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully you liked it. Make sure you like and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.